Good day, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you're tuned in from. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily live stream every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to about 11:35 a.m. I just want to say, what a good night. Woke up, pumped up to 27K. Aren't you excited about it? If you're feeling good about that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Thank you for being here as a part of our community here in BitLab Academy. If you are new, please subscribe, join our community. We have such a wonderful community here growing quite quickly. We're a little bit over, I think about a little over 5,000 people right now, which is pretty quick growth in the very short time. We've only been doing this for about a month and a half. And as you can see here, we've got it, we've got a nice little sort of subscriber base here. I cannot believe it. I'm so honored to be doing this with you here every day. So thank you for being here. My name's Kelly Kellam, and again, welcome to the BitLab Academy community. If you have not yet, if you have not seen these shirts, we've got some new merch that's coming out. If you can see here, got BitLab Academy down the sleeve, got the little beaker here on the chest. I just want to shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this community. And man, it feels good to see Bitcoin come alive while the banks are failing. But is there anything that we should be worried about? Well, we need to make sure that we take note of all that and make sure that we plan for it. We do have a special guest coming on today. You all might know this individual. Let me just go ahead and make sure that I send them the link. I just realized I had not sent them the link yet. So there we go. I want to make sure everything's good with the stream. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Let me see. Okay, so the markets are pumping. Things are looking good. What should we be watching out for? Well, we got a lot of charts we're going to be going over today. So let's just go ahead and dive right on in to what is going on the charts and in the market. And then our guests will be popping on here in a few moments. So am I getting any? I'm getting a bunch of dings in my headset, which usually means something's going on. Okay. Cool. We're all set. So here we are on the Twitterverse. Make sure you come over here and follow me, which is at Kelly Kellam, KELLYKELLAM. This is how you can find me online. And I share a lot of information and charts and just thoughts about what's going on. And this is just what I'm feeling like right now. This is what Bitcoin's doing. I'm just like, run, Forrest, run. We have so much resistance that we still need to shake off. We can't just be fully bullish right now and say it's absolutely going to the moon. But what we can do is we can be prepared. We can use strategy. We can use patience. We can use planning. And we can wait for these setups to be in our favor so we can make highly probable decisions so that we can protect our capital and grow it. That's what it's all about here at BitLab Academy. If this is your first time, again, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ding that bell. We still only have about 25% of the people that are subscribers who have dinged that bell. And this, when you ding that bell, it essentially notifies you when we go live. We will be doing more streams in the afternoon in the coming weeks. We're gonna be trying to do 2 a day. Just been currently spending all my energy here in the BitLab, recording all the new content for all the new updates. Brand new BitLab Academy is coming. So, of course, anybody that, if you have not yet, make sure you come and check out bitlabacademy.com. You can sign up right here for our free newsletter. Send out some alpha, some different lesson points, what's going on, updates about what's happening. You also get entered to win a free month access to the courses and the indicators that we go over a lot here on the BitLab daily stream. So make sure you come and check out bitlabacademy.com. We're going to have a brand new website rolling out. And when you see that new website, you know the updates are going live. And these updates will be basically being released over time. And we're going to continue filming new content for probably the next few years because there's so much that goes into the Bitcoin, blockchain, crypto, NFTs, mining, blockchain development. We're going to have courses on all that, but currently, essentially what we have coming is psychology of trading, trading fundamentals, trading strategies, on-chain data analysis, fundamental analysis, sentiment analysis, market trade metrics, Bitcoin 101, blockchain 101. We have so much coming, and it's all new video content, video-based database content with quizzes, with resources, and with a community that you're a part of once you join that you'll have access to in the Discord. And a lot of the basic concept stuff, the one-on-one courses, as well as the first couple lessons in each course is going to be part of, essentially we're going to be giving that away for free because we want to make sure that we're supporting the growth of the crypto ecosystem and giving everybody who wants it at least a basic understanding of what's going on in crypto so that they can navigate it and they can tune into different channels and understand what the heck people are talking about. And then when you want to go deeper, you can take your membership to another level if that's something that you're looking into. So let's go ahead and dive in here. Let's talk about what's going on in the markets. If you have not yet, make sure that you come over not only to my Twitter, but come over to, where did it go? I thought I retweeted it. Tweets, let's go to the top here. Retweet, replies. Did I not? Oh, you know what? I didn't do it. So let's go to Academy, BitLab, and we're going to come here and we are going to right here. Boom. Nope, that's not it. Where is the, here we go. Make sure you come over here and retweet this, let people know what's going on. This is essentially today's promo for today's show. It lets people know what's going on in the show. Lets people know that there is a spot they can come and learn and gain access not only to knowledge of what's happening in the charts today, but also the ability to learn some of the definitions and the concepts and the structures behind what we're talking about. So let's, and this, I just want to support this right here. A friend of mine here in the space, wonderful analyst, tech dev, he posted this, and I just thought this was worth everybody seeing. If you're not learning every day, you're not humble enough, and this market will probably change that quickly. No matter where you're at on your journey, if you're a beginner or a pro, you need to always be diving in to sharpening your sword, trying to figure out how you can gain better understanding of what's going on. So whether it's here in BitLab or across a vast array of other platforms in the crypto ecosystem, doesn't matter. I'm just happy that for anybody that is diving into their education and trying to understand the markets better. I do want to make sure, let me go off Twitter real quick, make sure that I didn't get a notice. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, I'm waiting for our guest to show up. He should be showing up here soon. But one of the things that we need to look at here is the fact that today is a big day in markets. And this is stock index options expire, stock options expire, stock index futures expire, single stock futures expire. And why do we care about this when we're talking about the Bitcoin pump? Because all these markets, this broader global economic and financial system, they all tie together. And when we see liquidity moving into or out of different areas of the market, that has an impact as to what's happening with risk markets. So we need to pay attention to that. And I just wanted to highlight this. And Game of Trades calls it the quadruple witching day. So I just wanted to point this out. Now, looking here to this next tweet, we've got, this is something that we'll probably talk about it with the guest here in a little bit, but U.S. regional banking sector has been collapsing. Now, why is this so important? Well, back in 2008, and remember, this crash that we had in 2008 is what Bitcoin was born from. The banking collapse, the mismanagement of just the traditional financial system. And we could see in 2008, the collapse of the regional banks led to a crash as markets eventually followed suit. So this was a regional bank collapse. We see this leading, as the markets were still going up, this led the collapse of the traditional asset market, markets globally. So this is just something to be prepared to watch out for. And I want to also bring up this right here and show you that the Bitcoin dominance is rocketing. And this right now means that altcoins are not performing as well in general as Bitcoin. But what this does also suggest is that every time Bitcoin pushes up to this level, we're in this sort of parallel channel here. When Bitcoin, the dominance pushes up to these levels, this provides an opportunity for when that money is made for it to then lend itself to people having a stronger sort of sense of what's going on in the markets, a more sense of certainty and security within the crypto ecosystem. People start taking profits that they're making in Bitcoin, and then that liquidity also starts flowing into altcoins. So the higher this goes right now may suggest that Bitcoin, I don't want to say altcoins are suffering, but it does show that Bitcoin as a whole is moving faster than the general altcoin market. However, as this pushes up, when the liquidity starts to flow into the altcoin sector, be ready, be set in position, because when it starts running, you are going to be left behind if you're not already in position. So identify those trade setups. We talk about it here on the channel all the time. The 1, 2, 3, 4 setup, a leading indicator, meaning whether you're coming into support or resistance, or you're seeing a large bullish or bearish divergence, looking for a supporting indicator, then finding a third indicator that gives you confluence, showing you that there's a broad array of technical details that support the claim that you're making. And then the fourth, trigger signal. Sometimes you'll have 5, 6, 7, but you want to have at least those 4, the 1, 2, 3, 4, leading, supporting, confirmation, trigger. That's what you want to find when you're setting up your portfolio and setting up opportunities for trades that you may or may not take. And you don't want to just be married to the idea of getting into a coin because everybody's talking about it. Wait for the setup, wait for the opportunity. And we're going to be going over a lot of those charts here in a little bit. I want to jump out of the charts for a moment. And I want to shout out everybody that's here. I love all the people that show up early. They're at the beginning part of the stream. So shout out to Broke Toshi, No Dinero, Blazing 2Js, Alexander G, King Peasant. I love Broke Toshi, No Dinero. Such a good name. Alexander G, again, I said, Brad Guidell, Justin Eubanks, Karen Swagger Harris, Crimson Caravan Company, King Peasant. Did I say that already? I'm not sure. Iman Perry, Bit Boy Crypto. What's up? How you doing, my brother, my family? Matt Lane, Gia S, Scott Rod. We got such a wonderful, wonderful community here. Matt C, my boy. Alex Green, who is in the house, I think he had to step away, but he'll be back for sure. Matt C is a wonderful resource. Also, connect with him if you haven't on his socials. He's been in the space for quite a long time. He's been in my crypto orbit. We've been in each other's orbit here, sharing thoughts and experiences and just strategy for years. He's a really wonderful guy. Matt Lane, we got such a good community here. So let's go ahead and jump back on. Elliot Locke, what's up? So jumping back into the charts here, we're watching this dominance explode. And this, for me, as I said, when we're talking about altcoins, this is, for me, a leading indicator of risk coming back into the market. And these markets, the liquidity sort of moves through different layers first. It goes to Bitcoin, and then, into the other top market cap altcoins like Ethereum and Cardano and BNB. And then as those assets also start pumping, then we see more risk come into the space, meaning this liquidity starts pouring into coins further and further down the market cap. So you want to be in position. You want to identify those setups, figure out what areas, what niches you expect from your diligence and from what you're learning here, what you're learning BitBoy Crypto or Frankie Candles or Traders Reality or investing, wherever you're gaining your variety of information and different looks on the market, so you can form your own decisions. Figure out what niches excite you about going into this next bull run and make sure that you're starting to get in position, because when we're looking at the markets, we do not want to buy something. We come here on the daily. We don't want to buy something, mid pump, because if you're buying something mid pump, like right here, then that means you're not paying attention to the data. And then as it rolls over, then you get scared it's going to roll over and you sell because you're trading emotionally. And then as soon as you sell, we've all felt this, you buy, the market goes down. And then you sell and the market goes up. This market eats emotional traders alive. So while we can be emotional, we can hug, we can love each other, we can do all those things out of the markets. In the market, you need to be a monster. You need to be data-driven and patient, and let your setups develop so that you can be in position here to take advantage of this pump. And where we're at here, did you miss it? You never miss a move. You were either out of position or in position. If you miss this move, quote unquote, then you wait for the position to develop again for you to find another opportunity. Now we're seeing, look, this is just feeling so good. I can't even tell you how good it feels to see these green candles. Does that mean we should be all in and it's going back to $80,000 tomorrow? We can't think of it that way. We have to look at the data. we still have a lot overhead. We've got a lot of things that are still happening above basically points of resistance. Let's go ahead and shrink this out. I'm going to go ahead and mute the market intelligence, and we can see I actually deleted a bunch of stuff on here because I was filming yesterday, but we can see just even simply this level right here, which is price action lows in May of 2022. We have that directly above our head, and look at this volume gap we have right here on the right, and we have this volume node. Basically, this would not be the point of control because that would be way down here, but we have a high volume node which is right at this level, which is basically just above our head. Now, I don't know if I pointed this out yesterday or not, but I drew this a few days ago. We have this inverse head and shoulders that have formed, and we're just breaking through this neckline. So am I going to trust that from this, that we're going to just automatically get this pump, this is a measurement from the neckline, which is this sort of, let's go ahead and move this more consistently. So this would be the neckline, or the point of resistance here. And we take a measurement from the neckline down to the deepest point, part of where the low is on the head, which is basically in this region right here. And we could take this just like this, and this shows the measurement, the target of the breakout of this inverse head and shoulders is all the way up here at 39,845. Does this mean that we're going there tomorrow? We could. But I absolutely do not trade that way. This shows that we're having a bullish narrative switch basically from this bearish narrative. This is showing the bulls are fighting to take control. We've broken through this neckline. So what we can say is that the price action does have a high probability of getting there, but there's always going to be a road up the mountain to get there. You don't just start at the bottom of a mountain and then teleport your way to the top. If you do, then that means there's no support. That means there's no ground under you. You're going to fall right back to the ground. And what we want to do is we want to trade consistently. We want to trade patiently. We want to invest profitably. So we need to be patient and let things develop. So what we're seeing right here is that we do have a potential target up here, right about 39,440, which also, if we look, is right at this node right here where we're having previous price action as well. So what we want to do is watch how this price develops, see how the momentum sustains, see how the buying pressure holds up when we get to this level, see what happens with price action as we push up. And we want to be patient and let these things develop. I'm going to go off screen now because I want to send a message to our guests and see is all good? All good? There we go. So coming back here, we can see we got Mr. Notorious Bill. Should be coming back on today. We had him last Friday, and everybody on here loved him so much. We had a talk afterwards. We said, let's do this regularly. If not every Friday, a lot of the Fridays. So he's coming back on whenever he hops in. I hope I don't have like a security setting on my Zoom call there, but it's all good. So looking at what's going on in the charts, we'll continue on until he hops in here. We've got, if we come back, I do want to show this as well. We do have this CME gap, and this is one of those hurdles that we have just above us. We came down and we filled this, boom, perfectly filled this. And then price is pushing up, and what do we have directly above us? This CME gap right here that essentially is roughly 27,500 up to 28,815. And we have this directly above our head. And not only is this a CME gap, what else do you notice? I want you to take the time when you're looking at charts and see what conclusions you can draw and what data points you can pull together. When you see something, see if there's anything else that supports a level of resistance. So we have this level of resistance. It's a magnet right now for liquidity to come back up here and fill this gap. But directly at this level, we also have, this is the same level we were just talking about, this $28,000 to $30,000 range, which essentially, if we come back here on the chart, this is essentially this zone right here, this $28,000 to $31,000 range. So we have, I don't want to call it a ceiling, but we do have some work to be done directly above our heads. So let's make sure that we're not just jumping in because we feel like we messed a move. If you got in on this breakout, we can still see this price action. This is on the daily. Let's come down to the 4 hour. We can still see this price action, which would be nice. Come over like this, test this, and then rock it. That would be a smart conservative move. Because we have low volume, I'm going to go ahead and double click on the chart, minimize the other indicators. Because we do have low volume in this region right here, we very may well push up to this, get rejected, and then come back and retest. But either way, what we want to do is be patient and let these setups develop over time. So I'm just going to go ahead and check back in over here. Okay, I'm not seeing anything, so we're just going to continue on. All good. There's always plenty to talk about on the charts. What we can also do is we can come over here to, I want to point this out, the cycle valuation over here on looknode.com. You can see if you come here to looknode.com, come to market valuation, come to cycle valuation, come down to this Bitcoin trend fib opportunity zone, and I want you to notice this band right here, bear exhaustion / buy zone. No, where's the hope zone? It's not that. Let me zoom in on this. It's a capitulation hope zone. Yeah. So see this band right here? You see this turning on and off? We've gotten to that. We've broken, essentially, this was a capitulation zone that price broke down from basically in May into June of 2022. This was the point where we're getting that capitulation. We're getting into the depths of the bear market. But this is also a signal as to when, if we look back in history, again, I'm going to turn this on and off so you can see where it is on the chart. Let's look in this region here, see what happens when we break this level. Look, it was a little bit of resistance, and then once we broke through this level, this signaled strong bullish movement. Now let's continue on. Let's continue looking at this level. We can even turn off a lot of these other lines. Take profit, extreme hype zone, bull floor band, bull control band. Let's turn off realized price, accumulation zone, and we can see specifically the capitulation zone has been a good determining factor of when, of course, we're in a bear market, but this is when we're in the depths of the bear market, essentially entering that the last phase into the accumulation zone. We see this again right here. But what I'm really wanting to pay attention to are these zones when we're exiting the best. There's still time to accumulate here, but these are the best accumulation zones down here, as pointed out by the long-term holder realized price, showing that the price is below this level. This is the best time to accumulate. We can even see this bear exhaustion. This is, we're seeing all these levels that we fought through. Now we're getting into this capitulation. No, in the bull market, we're calling it the hope zone. So we're getting into that hope zone in the market. Can we sustain? Can we continue to the upside? Let's see what happens. We've got to be patient with this market. We got to see how this plays out. And we can see that we have broken this level. This does not mean we're going absolute bull market central yet. We are starting to see that we have formed an honest move, a healthy move. If we come back here let's go to the 12-hour, having this bullish impulse, having a rejection, retesting this previous resistance to support, pushing up, forming this this neckline of this inverse head and shoulders, forming the right shoulder, retesting this line again, which is this previous resistance, now twice touched, twice confirmed as support. We closed that CME gap, and now we've pushed up, retested this previous resistance and broken through. And so what has this done? What are we looking at when we see this? What we're looking at when we see this is essentially a higher low. We have a higher high here. Now we have, we did test here with a lower low on this, but this is okay because this came down into a key zone. But now we are forming a higher high again, and we've broken this level. We've broken this critical level right here, this 25,250, 25,266. It'll be different on whatever exchange you're looking at, but we are starting to form a healthy uptrend. But all cards right now are in what happens with the monetary policy decisions coming from Jerome Powell next week, March 21st and March 22nd. Let's see. Is Bill here? I don't know if he's here yet or not yet. I'm going to come back to the chart. Shout out to everybody that's here in chat. Let's get this going. Zoom link is open. Hop in when you can. All righty. let's see. Let's come back over. Let's go ahead and look at, you know what we're going to pull up? We're going to pull up CoinGecko. We're just going to take a look because this is fun. This is fun to see when the market is having a nice little bit of a push. We can look at this seven-day chart here. This is going to be in the top 100. Conflux is up 101%. Stacks is up 81%. Singularity Net up. This is an AI play 61.3. Immutable X 52%. We're seeing a lot of big movers here. Even the graph up 31%. In the last 7 days, 24 hours. See, Immutable X is a big mover. Conflux, another big mover. Stacks, Phantom, Neo, Arweave. I can't believe Neo's still around. I was talking with Ben about that yesterday. What a story, what a narrative they had a few years ago that I just feel like maybe their community is just silently simmering along, but I haven't heard much from them lately. I'm happy to see that they're making some moves here. Decentraland up 8%. Chainlink. Silent sleeper within the crypto ecosystem because Chainlink is going to be one of those protocols that over time is so involved with everything going on within the crypto ecosystem because it is an oracle. It's an oracle protocol that basically verifies, pulls data, aggregates it, and verifies it on the blockchain. So you think about financial providers, think about sports betting, think about any data, weather data sets, anything that you want to make sure that you're getting the accurate and transparent and true data that you're getting. It's not being manipulated in any way. You're getting the aggregate best data sets that you want. That's what Chainlink's all about. And they are the most dominant Oracle protocol within the ecosystem. And they have moments where they don't run at all. They almost feel like a stable coin. And then it just rockets. I think its all-time high was somewhere in the $55 to $65 range. Let's see, max. I got up here all the way 51.85. So over $50. It's still down in the $7 range. But the point here is that there's a lot of protocols within the crypto ecosystem. So we wanted to be patient and find the right ones that fit, not just because we can make money on them, but for your long-term plays, things that you think are going to be drivers and basically the rails for what the rest of the crypto and blockchain community is going to be built on. Storage coin plays, AI plays, looking at Oracle networks, looking at layer 2 solutions that help scalability. And you want to find ones that you're not just buying into a narrative because it's hot in news right now, because something, for instance, we come back here looking at Singularity. I think this is a great coin, but also in the last 7 days, it's up 61%. And let's say 30 days here, let's do 90 days. Look at this. This is when all the way in January of 2023, 0.04 cents, basically 4.5 cents, up to currently the price is, basically 10x'd. Pre full bull run. So if this is a coin you're interested in, wait for the setup to develop so that you can make sure that you are getting the most out of your money. Now, one of the things we can do here, and I want you to be careful with this, don't use this specifically just to find a coin, but we can come to watch lists here on CoinGecko, and we can scroll down. You can see new coins, trending coins. But one of the things I also like to see here is price since crypto price since all-time high, and essentially how far down it is from all-time high. And you can see some coins that have already been moving dramatically, like for instance, BNB held up really well in the market in the downturn because they're still only 50% down from all-time high, whereas you look at XRP, still 88% down from all-time high. Matic had a lot of moves. It's down 59% since all-time high. Solana, unfortunately, very tied in with the entire, with the FTX narrative, although they are separate. They're still down 92%. And this is a little bit more risky play, but, when we're allocating to our portfolios, we can take these things into consideration. It's okay to take risks if we do it in a risk managed way. You don't want to have 6 coins in your portfolio that are all, number 200, 300, 400 on the coin market cap rankings that are very risky coins, because there's a very low probability that portfolio is going to hold its water throughout the board. It's going to be very volatile. It's going to shake a lot of people out. Some of those projects might not even make it. So when you're allocating to your portfolio, focus on Bitcoin, and it's a good. I don't want to say focus on it because this is not financial advice. It's a good practice to balance your portfolio more heavily with these stronger altcoins that are higher up on the coin market cap rankings, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, BNB, XRP, Matic, AVAX, these ones with larger market caps. And then the further down the list you go, the smaller allocation towards your portfolio you have. For instance, there's a coin that I had shouted out to the community a couple years ago because I sincerely thought it was going to be an interesting play. It was I'm not even going to say the name of it because I don't want people to go and invest in it now. But it was a Cardano DEX, and this is right when the Bitcoin bull market was really, there was still a lot of hope in the Bitcoin bull market. And you know what? I even told everybody that potentially was going to invest in it. I said, listen, I'm looking into this project. It's a Cardano DEX. Cardano ecosystem is still very underdeveloped. So as this community grows, I'm looking in the projects that are going to be on that within that Cardano ecosystem. And with that, I allocated a little under 1% of my portfolio to that project. And that project has just been I haven't been following it at all because it's such a small percentage of my portfolio, but it was up to like $1.50 or something. And right now it's below a cent. So it's effectively dead in that sense right now when looking at it in terms of a risk perspective. So when anybody brings up any sort of coin or project or any sort of protocol to potentially look into, I want you to make sure you do your own due diligence as well. And you make sure the further down that coin market cap ranking it is, the less allocation you take in your portfolio, smaller percentage, so that that risk doesn't eat your portfolio alive if there is some sort of catastrophic failure with that protocol or project, or it just doesn't, it just doesn't take hold as you thought it would. But if it does, if you do get a project that is a new coin or some new play that that you look into, and it maybe it's new on the market, it's new within the crypto ecosystem, it's going to be really far down the coin market cap ranking, sure. But it doesn't mean you need to put, $10,000 or $15,000 in it. Put $100, put, $200, something very small, because those coins that are new, when they do explode, that $100 could explode into being something that could be 20 to 30% of your portfolio over time if it does 100x, 1,000x, 10,000x like some of these coins do. So I just want to encourage practicing good risk management and healthy portfolio allocation. Now, I'm not really sure why. I hope everything's all right with Mr. Bill. Let's say, let me know. Okay, we're going to continue on here because there's never a shortage of stuff to do. If you have not yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. I appreciate you all for being here. Let me see if all the things are good. All right, so let's go ahead and look at some of these projects. Look at Cardano. I got 4 up on the screen right here. Cardano found a healthy bounce. Let's go ahead and turn off the indicator. We're going to look just specifically at price action and look at this support line, the support trend that we had created. Came back, tested it. We got a basically W formation right here. Bounced on this, pushed up, pulled back. I found support on this volume. We sort of tested this line. Also, this is the same sort of price action level. This is the point of control on the VPVR. This is the volume range of the visual, volume profile of the visual range, showing, you can see each one of these bars represents how much volume at these different price levels we're seeing here on the right. So when you see this heavy volume at this price level, that means there's a lot of interest and a lot of liquidity that's been traded at this price level, and price action broke through this. It came back, tested it. Now we're moving to the upside. The question is going to be here, is this going to have follow through and break this level, at which point then we can look to the next level, which will be closer up here to the 41 cent range. But we are seeing, look at this, on the BitLab trading stack here down on the bottom. I'm going to go just chart here. We can see the hidden volume. We did have bullish divergence on the volume right here, which gave us a great signal to the upside. because this was also supported with a blue signal here on the BitLab significant movement. These blue signals are suggesting that a combination of different momentum indicators like the MACD, like the RSI, like a variety of these different indicators are all showing that a consensus that things are underbought, that they're oversold. And at those points, those are points in the market that you can identify good bounces. And when you have this in combination with the bullish divergence on the volume, showing that volume's coming into this level, bulls are supporting this level, they're wanting a bounce, and then we can pull up the BitLab market intelligence. We could see on the 4-hour, we did not get a signal, but we did get a low pivot. So we had a low pivot signal. We also had the support on this trend line. We also got the, look at this, relative extrema was coming to the downside. We finally got the blue wave here and the bullish divergence on the volume. We can come down to a smaller time frame, look at the 1 hour, see how this played out. Okay, we did get check and money flow bullish divergences, 3 low pivots. There's basically just showing the technical analysis coded into this market intelligence, showing that that these were likely lows. And then we get the relative extreme bullish divergence and another blue signal right here where we rocket to the upside. So this goes back to what I was talking about yesterday. When we're looking for trade setups, we're looking always, we want to be patient. We want to look for the 1, 2, 3, 4. We want to have our leading. I'm going to go ahead and move this over here. We want to have our sort of leading indicator. We want to have our sort of supporting indicator. We want to have confluence, and we want to have our trigger. So what this means, and this can be a variety of different things each different time with each different trade. Your leading indicator could be when the price action is coming into support. So this is saying it's coming into support. There might be some other signals that are agreeing that the support's going to hold. So let's see. And then we get the supporting indicator. Well, then we get Chika money flow bullish divergence. So then we get confluence. Well, we had the relative extrema coming out to the downside. So this means that the supporting indicator and the confluence, the third point of support essentially, is agreeing. And then we have our trigger, which is whatever with your strategy, whatever you're deciding is saying, okay, now we have essentially a fourth point of confluence or basically maybe a level breakout. But the point here is that you are always waiting for 1, 2, 3, 4 setups so that you can be in good, healthy positions and take smart, highly probable trades over time. And the fifth thing here I'll add on here is you always want to make sure you have risk management, which means setting stop losses and sticking to your plan. If you have a stop loss you set, you don't need to continue inching it lower because you really believe in the move. And then you end up eating up a good portion of your capital that you had allocated to that trade, because when you set a stop loss, you leave your stop loss. If you get stopped out, good. That means that your plan, your trade strategy is working for you, because it's helping make sure that it's helping prevent you from losing money over time. Now, I'm still not seeing. I hope Bill's okay. He was supposed to come on today. Well, we're going to continue on because the show doesn't stop, baby. All right. So coming back here, we're going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this on only show last divergence. And for anybody that wonders if they're using these indicators, I like this setting the best because it works broadly across a lot. There's a default setting when you come into, if you pull up BitLab Market Intelligence, you can either double click on the flag, or you can come over here on the top left, click on this gear wheel and come to the inputs. I like the 7 where it says pivot look back. I put 7 maximum pivot points to check. I put 4 maximum bars to check. You could put, I have 90, you can do 90 or 100. That one won't matter as much. And if you want all of the divergent call outs, you could leave this on here. But if you check this show only last divergences, it shows the last bull and the last bear divergence, cleans up your chart. very much. But we got a lot of great updates coming to this as well. We're building in the relative extrema to be signaled on the candle bars, so you can look, just looking at the candle bars, you're going to be able to see, well, this move is moving up, but it's unhealthy because the relative extrema is pointing is showing that this is an extreme move, giving you a leading signal on the candle bar that something is about to roll over. So how's everybody doing in chat? Is everybody bullish? Bullish or bearish? Throw it in the chat. Let me know. I'm going to actually put in a poll right now. Start a poll. Are you bullish? And what I mean by bullish is, do you think that we are going to sustain to 30K? Bullish to 30K or bearish? No, bearish. Let me know. Yes, let's go. Let me know. This will get rejected. All right, let me know in chat. Answer that poll. Let's see what's going on here. We're going to do a bunch more TA here on the a bunch more coins because the market's moving. We want to know. I'm having problems with Zoom. Okay, let me send. Okay, let me see. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just messaging with Bill. He's having some issues, some technical issues, but the show must go on. All right, so coming back over here, we can see that, let's see, we want to look at, let's look at Algorand. Okay, we can see we had this massive trend line. This is on the 4-hour. We had this trend line that we've broken through, and this is why it's so important to do trend lines on your charts, because it gives you an idea where price may return to, where it may find a struggle and where it may return to. So once we've established this trend line here, we see each time we came back into it, it gave us a good opportunity. This could have been a leading signal on that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we talked about. This is a leading as we're coming into this level of resistance. Excuse me. This gave us an indication we could be looking to our other signals to either exit a position or take a short, whatever. And we see as we've broken through this, we had resistance, and then we finally broke through. We tested it, pushed back up, tested this again. Now we're pushing up. Now looking at this with the signals, we are having a relative extrema bearish divergence here. Now if we take our fib, which is option F from the top here to the bottom right here, we can see that price action did push through the golden pocket. We got rejected at the 786. And we are seeing right here, we can see that the relative extrema, you see these bars, when these are sticking to the upside, this is like having a slingshot pulling the strap to the upside. And if you have a rock in that slingshot, if you're pulling it up, it means it's going to shoot it down, right? That's essentially what this is saying when we're seeing this. This is essentially showing that this is a bullish extreme move, suggesting that the momentum will not carry through. Therefore, the bears will likely take over. We'll get at least a little bit of either a consolidation or a pullback. And this was leading this move as we see all the way through this. And then once we got the relative extrema, bearish divergence and resistance right here at the 786, that could have been your setup for this move. Now, where do I think this is going? I think we have all eyes on what's going on with Bitcoin. I think there's going to be more liquidity pouring into Bitcoin in terms of the dominance. As we can see, look at this candlestick. It's just such a solid candlestick. This is the 3-day. Let's come down to the 12-hour. There's a little bit of a pause here, but I mean the dominance, the narrative right now with the banks collapsing is that with banks collapsing, with uncertainty in the markets, and now within the general zeitgeist of what's going on in the global economic financial system, and people having awareness of Bitcoin, people being aware, not only in this last month, but because this has been in the news media for over, I mean, really, it's been around for around 13 years, but from the cycle in 2017, when it really started becoming into people's awareness, because we, getting up to that almost $20,000 mark, and then this last cycle getting, nearly $70,000. Over 82% of 2 years ago, on a study from 2 years ago, over 82% of Americans had heard of Bitcoin in a pretty decent size amount. I think it was around 22% had some exposure to Bitcoin. Doesn't mean they had tens of thousands or the majority of their savings in it, but the adoption curve is starting to get to the point where it's just like marketing. They say in marketing, people need 7 to 12 touch points, 7 to 12 sort of points of, you see a flyer, okay, then you see a billboard, then you see a pop-up on your computer, then somebody says something to you. You have to get comfortable with the concept before you're going to spend your money on buying it, whether it's a $2 earring or a $20,000 Bitcoin, whatever. And remember, for anybody that's new out there, Bitcoin is divisible by 100 million. And so you can buy any divisible portion of Bitcoin that you want. If you only have $5 to invest once a week, that's something that you can do. You don't have to wait till you have enough money to buy a Bitcoin. You can buy any fractional portion of a Bitcoin that you want. Just a little shout out there. But the point here is that the banks are collapsing, and there's enough awareness now in the space that we're seeing liquidity pour into Bitcoin. Now, one of the things I also wanted to point out is we can actually, I'm going to have to go off screen here so I can show here. Let's see, is he popped in here yet? No, he's not popped in here yet. Let me resend him the Command I. Let me resend him the link. Here is link again. There we go. Let's see if that works. Very may well work. Okay. So looking here, I want to come to this. Here we go. Okay. Looking here, I shared a number of tweets yesterday from some different people. Now, one thing is we're talking about the bank runs. This is the biggest bank run. And 2023 has already had the worst year of bank runs in U.S. history, measured by deposits held by failing banks. So there's not only fear in the markets, but there's also an awareness of Bitcoin. Liquidity is starting to pour into Bitcoin. We can also see, I have to share this with you here in a moment, but this is a great chart from somebody we had on our podcast last night. I'll pull that up in a second. Oh, here we go. This is from Gert Van Lagen. He's showing right here the money supply. He's showing right here, not the money supply, sorry, sort of quantitative easing, basically balance sheets. And we see this massive spike right here following the global economic shutdown of March of 2020. And look at this, this massive peak right, this massive uptick right here, $500 billion. What did this was right here on the chart, and look what happened following this sort of injection of capital into the balance sheets. Now we're seeing already in the last few days about a little over $300 billion has been injected back into the balance sheets here in the U.S. Now, this brings up a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but is this a little bit of a coincidence that right now we're also seeing all these on-ramps and off-ramps for crypto being closed down? Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank. Also, there was a story yesterday that in the UK, Binance was I don't remember if it was Binance or their banking partner was having to pause deposit and withdrawals in the UK. This is right as we're having bank crises, and now this is the first time we have an alternative to banks, being Bitcoin and the blockchain ecosystem. They didn't have this in 2008. In 2009, it was too much of a new, novel idea for people to really just throw their capital into it. But now it is a true threat to the banking system. So is it some coincidence that now all the bank on-ramps and off-ramps are having issues, basically allowing new capital to flow into the crypto ecosystem? I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays out. But we can also see this is from Plan B. We can see it's not quite quantitative easing. The U.S. government, the Fed, does not want to call it that, but look at how much they've expanded the balance sheet. I mean, look at this chart. Does this look like they're still reducing? I mean, this is a massive uptick in basically their balance sheet, meaning that they're injecting money into the market. They're buying stuff. We can see also, right, this is another, it's basically similar chart in a different view. The numbers are in. The Fed's balance sheet has increased by nearly $300 billion last week. So what is this saying? What is all this information signaling? This is signaling to us that the Fed is starting to have, they're seeing the issue, of course, with the monetary policy was meant to bring inflation down. But what it also does is it doesn't just bring inflation down, it also squeezes the profitability of banks. It also squeezes their ability to basically where they've allocated their money in the past, which had been previously strong and somewhat risk-averse, risk-managed positions like government bonds and treasuries and those sorts of assets. And as the monetary policy has squeezed the economy, it's made certain assets that they've invested in be worth less than they had invested. So it's basically squeezing the margin between what their assets are and what their liabilities are. So as their assets diminish in value, even though they're supposed to be well risk managed, and their liabilities are the same, then you get this imbalance of having higher liabilities than asset value, and you get these banking collapses. So now the Fed, Jerome Powell, the monetary, this debate about what we should do about inflation, but the economy, bank runs, all these things are starting to happen. There's no easy answer here, but Bitcoin does provide an alternative to all this, and we're starting to see this play out in the charts, which is wonderful. But I want to preach caution here. This does not mean because we're getting a little bit of a pump up that we're absolutely going to go to the moon. We can plan for moon trips, but we need to also still make sure we're paying rent here on the ground because nothing's guaranteed. But it's nice to have this narrative. Let's continue on through some more charts. Let's do Matic. Where's Matic at? Boom. Okay, let's bring this up. We could see, oh man, we got a pretty strong, look, we had bearish divergence on the volume here. We had 4 bearish divergences on relative extrema, momentum, on balance volume, and hidden volume. This also coming into now we're forming this resistance line of resistance sort of right here. And this is on the 4-hour chart. Let's look at the daily. Okay, yeah, this is. I mean, we could have extended this. We can extend this all the way back to there. This could have projected this. See, had I had a line on this chart, I just opened it up in a new window. That's why there's no lines on it. But we could see that this was a likely area that we are going to find some trouble. And we have the relative extrema. What is it? It's outside of the norm. Not only is it outside the norm, it's on the opposite side of this basically volatility momentum cloud that we're seeing here, this movement momentum cloud. This is what this faded area is. And we could see that this was unhealthy, this entire move up. So if we're having an unhealthy move up and we're coming into a likely area of resistance, what can we plan for? A little bit of a rejection. And this has happened twice. We do have a higher high here. So I do want to keep an eye on this. We can go back down to the 4-hour time frame. We want to see if this is going to form a lower low here or sustain with having another higher high. We could do another trend line, option T, bring this up. It's going to be something about like that. Now, this does look like we're forming a bit of a symmetrical triangle. So this is somewhat of an indecision, neutral sort of narrative chart formation. So we want to watch what's happening within the space and all this monetary policy decisions and where the market is. You know what we did not look at today? Let's go ahead and look at traditional markets. Man, I got allergies here in Georgia compared to New York. Man, look at the Dixie. Dixie is just does not know what to do. If this were to come back down, this would be a really nice, very ugly head and shoulders. I wouldn't quite call this a shoulder because it's so small, but we're at basically left shoulder, head, and if we get if this breaks down from here, then we are forming this lower high on the Dixie, which is bullish for risk assets. Looking over here to the NASDAQ, let me minimize this right here. Looking here to the NASDAQ, we can also see that we are getting a little bit of a push up, but I want to point out that we do have this trend line right above us that we have also rejected off of, and this is actually a little bit of a bearish little bit of a bearish warning shot in terms of where assets are in the market in terms of this risk perspective. Similarly, we see here on Dow Jones push up. We had a bit of a W formation, but we're getting rejected here. So all eyes are on what happens on these two charts in terms of what the risk narrative is going to be moving forward. It's also here with the S&P 500, we're actually seeing slightly different narrative. Let's go ahead and remove the Fibonacci. Option T gives us a trend tool. We're getting a bit of we had a bit of a descending wedge here, or a falling wedge, I should say, or sort of descending channel. Both of these are leaning into the more bearish narrative. We are seeing bullish hidden volume divergence right here as well. So I'd like to see the S&P 500 break out of this to the upside, because we are on a critical level right here. As we can see, it goes all the way back to December of 2021. If we do lose this level, this level right here, option J, we've already kind of tested this level. If we break down and lose this level, this could spell a much larger downside for traditional markets, which potentially, I'm not going to say it absolutely will, potentially could be a heavy bearish weight on Bitcoin as well. Now, coming back into the markets, I actually wanted to share this as well. This was a different look as to the chart that I've shared talking about USDT dominance in relationship to Bitcoin. This is similar. This is USDC dominance. I think this would be, I would update this now because of all the issues currently with, but all in all, this is basically stablecoin dominance as it relates to Bitcoin. And what JT Invests in You, we had him on Crypto Answer last night, the podcast we do through my Twitter Spaces. He's basically created these trend lines, which the green trend line essentially is when the dominance of the stablecoin has fallen, and it's proven each time that this has fallen down to these green levels. We can see that this was good take profit zones, and each time that this goes up to the, which is why it's green, you're taking profit here. And when this is pushing up, the dominance is pushing up here, and it's basically found this ascending trend line. Anytime the USDC or USDT dominance pushes up into this region, has proven to be good DCA. You're entering good DCA zones. So I just thought this was an interesting look. I wanted to share that with you all. Let's move through a few more coins. Before we move through a few more coins, though, I do want to. I'm going to pull up my messages from Bill. It still shows that he's having problems with Zoom, so all good there. We're just going to have to continue. Big love to you, Bill. If you are in the chat, shout out. If you're able to hop on, I'm happy to pull you up anytime, my friend. Let's see what let's go ahead. In poll. Okay, we got the poll results are in. Yes, let's go. They believe that we're bullish up to 30K. No, bearish, this will get a rejection. About 31% of you are basically in line with thinking that we will get a rejection. And you know what? They say that the majority are typically wrong. Well, let's hope that sort of sentiment is, let's hope that narrative is wrong. Let's hope that we do push up. If we don't, we can be prepared. We can be in position. Let's just check back in on Bitcoin here. We are getting a little bit of that rollover. Let's come down to the 24-minute. I'm just curious. We're going to pull back up the charts. Here we go. We can see, yeah, we are getting a little bit of a rollover. I want to see some strength come in on the chart. This is good. So here on the 24-minute, this is a good leading indicator for strength. We can see that the relative extrema is sticking way outside of the bars right here with this small pullback. So this is signaling that this may be a bit of a bull flag. It kind of, I mean, it's too lopsided to be a bull flag. This may just be a small pullback before continuation, but it's yet to be seen. Everything is on a razor's edge. It's also Friday. We got CME futures are closing this afternoon, which means whatever price action happens this week, if it is to the upside, we may have a gap below us. If we just have a little bit of patience and consolidation, this weekend. If we have consolidation over the weekend, don't be frustrated. Be happy that we're having healthy consolidation so that Sunday, the price hadn't moved so high that we have this magnet below us with the CME gap below us. These are all things that we could take into consideration. So let's go ahead and look. Let's look at a few more. Everybody, you can go ahead and spam the chat right now. Let me know what coins you want to look at. We could see how they're performing and what if there's any setups that may be developing. As we're doing that, spam the chat. Let me know. Let's see, how is the stream doing? I just want to check the health of the stream. Shout out to everybody in the room. I really appreciate you all being here. Shout out where you're from. Where are you tuning in from? Let us know in chat. Let's see if any of you guys are in the same area. We can build this community not only online but offline. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, ding that bell if you have not yet. Join our community. We're going to continue on here. We're going to look at the graph. I saw earlier it was up around 30% in the last, I think it was 7 days. This is beautiful. First thing I'm seeing, inverse head and shoulders. On the 4 hour, we got the perfect call here with the low and the high on the BitLab trading stack. By the way, if you want more information on this, come over to bitlabacademy.com, come to indicators right here, and you can get the full stack for over half off right here. And you can also use the code BitSquad15 or relaunch15 in checkout. Just click on have a coupon, put in that code, and you'll get the discounted rate. Right here. And these are these indicators I'm using that basically are a combination and aggregate and make really, really wonderful ability to look at momentum and volume and divergences and strength coming into or out of markets before price action moves. EMA ribbons, high and low pivots. There's so much in this indicator package. So definitely go and check that out. But we can see on this call, we had this low, we had the high. We're having a little bit of a pause here. We're seeing we had the point of control right here where this previous highs are. We can do Option J there. If you're on a PC, you can do Alt J. That gives you a horizontal ray to give you that trend line. We're seeing right here, Option T. We got a trend line right here. This gives us our inverted head and shoulders. And we can see you can do this two ways. You can be aggressive and go all the way to the wick. I'm going to do this a little more conservatively. Just do the candle body. You measure from the neckline all the way down to the bottom low of the head. And we can see where this projected target may take us. And we can see that this is, look at this. This is a previous Option J. This is essentially the previous, the next high after breaking this current high that we're fighting right now. So this is looking like it's trying to fight its way higher. We are finding a rejection right here though. So let's pay attention to this. Let's see where this goes when price action pulls back to the downside. Let's, I want to make sure, let's zoom. Is he not in the room? Yeah, man, I'm a little bummed. We have a little bummed we didn't get Billy Boy on today, Mr. Noble. So we're seeing a lot of potential with the graph. Now, the graph, for people that don't know, the graph is essentially, if you think about like Google for websites, the graph is essentially they have a protocol that helps index the information across different protocols. So as the world moves more blockchain centric, which it will, it is the railroad of the future. It's a railroad of the data, services, infrastructure of the digital world and economy that we're building into. Blockchain is the future, and all of you that are here are a part of it. And this is helping. The graph is essentially helping index all that information. So it's an excellent sort of infrastructure play into the future. Do your own diligence. Look into this coin if you're interested in it. I'm not suggesting you buy it. All I'm just saying is some of the data points about what it is and why I find it interesting. But we can see Option T. We've got a bit of a trend line. There's not quite there. Here though, yeah, we got a little bit of a fake out, a bull trap. And the reason why I'm doing this is because we see, look at this, look at all these touch points. Rejection, 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 rejection. We had a little bit of a fake out, support, rejection, rejection, and this is where we're at right now. So this could spell some large movement if we're able to push up, if we're able to break above this and then come back and test it. We also have a large volume gap here. Look at this large volume gap. The volume gap basically goes from where we're at and then up another I mean, the volume gap goes all the way up another 68 to 80%, which is essentially this level right here above us. So this is one to watch. I wouldn't necessarily call it a buy zone yet, but we are forming a kind of a lopsided cup and handle as well, which we can kind of go like this. We got our cup, have our handle, and then the way you kind of map out likely breakout from this would be like I would do it from. Some people do it from the neckline. I like to do it from kind of where the breakout point is on the handle. And this puts us up in that general region. Now, one of the things we can look for, once we map things out, then we can see if there's any hurdles in the way, the golden pocket. So we option F from this breakdown all the way to this low there. I can see this line coming across, give me the low. And look at where this target is. This target is right into where this golden pocket zone is, as well as where this previous low was that is above us, and this volume node. So this is a high area of interest, which is a 35-cent zone. So I would be looking at this for your own strategy, identifying that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup, whether you're using MACD, RSI, stochastics, or you're utilizing the BitLab trading stack. You want to wait for the setups and take advantage of them. Now, let's see. I don't know. I got such a small screen here today. Okay. I feel about showing. All right. So we're going to do, you know what we have not done on this channel yet? Let's do Phantom. Let's do a little bit of Phantom, and we'll do some Link and Gala. Now, we were just going through that stuff today, aren't we, guys? This is wonderful. Shout out to everybody in chat. Hit that like button. Ding that bell. Let's see. Link. All right, let's see what's going on with Link. So we're on the 1 week here. So it's option T. Let's get our main trend line, which we've broken out of. Okay, that's good. That's a good thing. We do have a bit of a parallel channel, which we can come over here, come down to parallel channels, come across like this, go up and go down. We can somewhat in that sort of phase there. We are seeing a little bit of a pullback. We're right in this high volume node right here. Let's go down to the daily. Let's see what's going on here. We can actually adjust this a little bit. There we go. It's a little bit crooked, but generally you can see the trend there. So for range traders out there, for people that like to trade very actively, they could have been using this as once this is established the high and the low, and, you know, especially the second high, you could take advantage of, you know, shorting these levels or taking profit from this push up and then letting it ride down, waiting for your confluence with the multiple different signals and indicators and data points, and basically ride this range back and forth. And this range has been going, if we measure this range has been going essentially, measure tool. Let's see. 317 days you could have been trading this range. That's for people that like the more, basically there's different types of traders. You can trade pattern structure. You can trade price action. You could trade using specifically only indicators. You can trade using pattern breakouts. You can use just do trend reversals. You can do longer term swing trades. In the BitLab Academy, one of the new lessons is actually a basic macro trend trade strategy. I'm getting a lot of notes here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to chart something that I do not have a lot. I'm going to chart something that somebody's been asking for night and day here in a second. I just want to point out anything that I chart, I'm not suggesting is a good buy or a good sell. I'm charting what the community is asking me to chart. And I'm not going to tell you which project that is even in reference to, but we'll get to it here in a few minutes. But Link is setting up. We broke out of this major sort of trend line downtrend resistance. We're on the daily. Let's go into the 4 hour. We can see that. Look at this. We're getting a lot of bullish divergences here on the hidden volume, which is showing that there's a sort of interest coming into this. Now, this also is met down here with this not only pivot low, bullish divergences, and we had the blue flag or the blue wave here on the significant movement, showing that the momentum signals were showing things were very underbought, undervalued. And we have the relative extrema we see sticking out of the bars. This was a 1, 2, 3, 4 buy signal all the way, or you know, basically supporting highly probable trade setup right here, pushing up to the upside. Now we got a little bit of a pullback. Where is this? Previous support, now resistance. We got a rejection, came down, looks like it came down right about to where the golden fib is. Look at that, right into where the golden fib is. It's amazing how these golden Fibonacci's work. This is pushing back up. Now, what I'm looking for here is if we do get a little bit of a rounding thing here, this will be a very nice, very small left shoulder, head, and then right shoulder, which would give us option T from the neckline to the bottom of the head. Now we kind of mark this out. Let's just see. You never know. What you want to see is where target, if it lines up with, oh, look at this, perfectly with this volume node. That's just crazy how these targets work out. Now we can do option, what do I want to do let's do it from here. Option F from the top to the bottom. I got to move this all the way to the bottom. Okay, so now we're kind of fighting at this. Let's go ahead and delete this fib there. Okay, we're fighting at right here in this basically no man's land, fighting because of this previous price action lows. We are seeing a little bit of weakness if we have a lower high here. So we want to pay attention to that. And we just want to pay attention broadly on what's going on, because on the relative extrema, this was flagging that this was a little out of context, that we probably needed to pull back and cool off. It's exactly what's happening. If we come down to the 1 hour, we can see it's still very overheated. So I'll be waiting for a setup, you know, especially even looking right here, we can see on these volume nodes, if this doesn't hold here, it's likely going to come back down into this region of 6.5, 6.6 cents. This is Chainlink. Now we're going to, I said I was going to do Phantom, didn't I? So let's do FTM. Script FTM USDT. Let's do, okay, Phantom. So this is probably going to, a lot of these are going to have somewhat similar setups. Okay, we could see massive trend line right here that was broken. Okay, we can option T, come here, option T or Alt T if you're on PC gives you these trend lines, so you don't have to come and select them each time. We had the breakout retest. So let's see where our Fibonacci is, option F or Alt F from the top to the bottom. That gives us a map of likely golden pocket zones. And look at this, we rejected right at the golden pocket and we had bearish divergences. That would have been such a good trade on this breakout confirmation. Great trade signal right there, just on the pattern trading system. And then coming up, indicators signaled as well as a golden pocket signal. This was a good spot to take profit. So you see how we're interlinking. You can have a variety of different tools and a variety of different strategies so that you can use what works best in any given situation. Now, not any specific strategy is going to work every time. It's good to have a broad array of tools that you understand, as well as indicators that you can use, because no indicator is perfect. This is why we want to utilize confluence and agreement between a variety of different things in the charts to show that momentum is shifting in a certain direction. Because if momentum is shifting in a direction, you can start to take advantage of moves as early as possible in that move so you can capitalize on the most profits. And this takes patience and planning, and then your deserved profits, because you had patience, you had planning, you stuck to your plan, you waited for your 1, 2, 3, 4 points of confluence, you practiced good risk management, and you could take advantage of these moves. And so we see here, we just got rejected right at this golden pocket. We have a, you know, we're sort of forming a bit of, I'm worried about this. I can see we're forming a bit of an ascending wedge, which is actually a bearish structure. These tend to break out to the downside. So a potentiality here for Phantom, if this doesn't continue to the upside, is kind of break down. I wouldn't want it to come all the way back down here. It very well could, but to break down out of this, fake out to the downside, and find support maybe on the 382 or one of these levels that we have here, and then continue to the upside. But this is all the markets are somewhat tied to what's happening in the narrative with monetary policy. and if we have more cascading bank failures. So you need to be paying attention and mapping out your charts, but also being aware of what's going on within the news. And if there's an announcement of new quantitative easing, if there's more bank bailouts, all of this stuff is going to have a big impact, especially if they do quantitative easing and raise the interest rates 50 basis points or something. There's a lot of mixed signals and potentialities of what could be happening in the next week or two. So be patient. The markets are feeling exciting, but volatility is where emotions come in. And as emotions come in, that's where people lose the most money, because they make a trade and then they bought the wrong part of that. They bought the wrong part. They see this running up, and so they buy it right here. Because in order for this candle to have pushed up, somebody bought and somebody sold at this level. So somebody bought here and then thought, oh my God, and the market goes complete opposite direction. Every time I buy, the market drops. This is what happens when we get these emotional times and the volatility. Don't succumb to your emotions. Succumb to your plan. Like, you want to have a plan and stick to it. Lifetime memberships from Deepak. We do not have lifetime memberships currently. We're about to roll out so many updates for everything going on in BitLab Academy. It's not even funny how much is coming. New website, new courses, new lessons. It's going to, we'll be releasing quite a bit in about a week's time. We're in the process right now of rolling it all over. I'm even filming the welcome video today with Ben. But we have to have a bit more of the stuff in there and integrated before we offer the multi-month and lifetime. But that is coming, so patience there. But it is coming. We're going to have some different opportunities to have significant discounts as well, and some fun, creative ways for our community, and also all of you here in the community. In fact, I say, I have an idea. We're going to do a giveaway on Monday's show for a lifetime membership to the BitLab Trading Stack Indicators. And it's going to be, I'm going to tell you now, this is why it's a benefit that you're here. When I post on Monday morning, the Twitter, when I post on Monday morning on BitLab Academy, where are we at? BitLab Academy. When I post on Monday morning on BitLab Academy, the post for the morning show, which is similar to this one right here, and I don't want you to share this specific one, on Monday, we're going to draw from those who retweeted this on their page, and one of you will get a free lifetime membership to the indicator stack. So note that now. I'm not going to re-say it on Monday towards the end of the show. We will be picking somebody that retweeted that day's promo, basically for the show, so we can help build this community, and I can also give back to you all. So let's continue here. Phantom, bearish structure, potential pullback here, but again, a lot of things are contingent on what happens with Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin just takes a tumble because it's just a trap, if this just breaks down, then you're going to see more red in the altcoin market than you're going to see in Bitcoin. If Bitcoin pulls back, 10% drop, then you're going to see a more significant drop in a lot of the altcoins. So just know that. Now we're going to look at, we're getting a lot of requests for Hex. I've never even charted Hex. I don't even know what should we do it on? Let's do it on BitGet. Okay. So we can see we got the point of control there. This is looking, let's go on the daily. Man, Hex is such a strong community of people that post. It's amazing. We're seeing, we kind of have a little bit of an Adam and Eve pattern here, being a V, and then Adam, VV, or Adam, Eve kind of round. Let's go to the weekly, or let's go to the 3-day auto. Man, there's not much history here to do much with. So I'm seeing bearish divergence come in on the volume as this price action pushes up. So that would give me a little bit of hesitation. The relative extrema isn't too bad, but it is sticking a little bit out of the, let's see. It's sticking out, basically showing that this is a little overheated as well. And we have a red wave coming into this entire move. This is on the 3-day. Let's go down to the 4-hour. Okay, we can now see we have a point of resistance here. Option J. Okay, now we have broken through the EMA ribbon. We're seeing some support below us, but there's some choppiness, and this is looking overheated. So I'm looking for a likely pullback, and this also is starting to look like a bit like a double top in formation, in which case could be spelling further downside. So that's what I'm currently seeing. Also, we're looking at the 4-hour. We're getting 3 bearish divergences. Right at this level as well. So I would be hesitant for any long purchases right now on Hex. Now there was a couple more. Okay. Was there any other? Just as for the mods, you can ping me in the Discord. Because my screens are so small right now, with the setup, I can't really track chat. So if there's any super chats, anybody that donated, I want to make sure to answer any of those questions. So send those to me in the live stream alerts thing. Now we're going to look at Gala. We're going to look at Gala. Gaming. Gala is a gaming play. Not only do they have games, they have a large variety of games, and they're doing stuff in movies and music, and they're doing all kind of stuff within the gaming play to earn metaverse. A lot of stuff going on there. So we're looking here. We're not going to do the full macro just because I want to be able to have more time here. Okay, let's see. We got a bit of a channel here on Gala. There's a number of ways you can draw this because it looks like there's a lot of support and resistance. Either way, we can see we broke out of this resistance. So what we want to do here, my bad. What we want to do here, I'm going to do auto. We're going to go from the high. We're going to go from this high, option F, to this low right here. We can see. And now we're going to zoom in a bit and see what's going on within the, okay, so this golden pocket is perfectly in line with basically butting up to where this high volume node is above where we're at right now. Now the point of control is right through here where we're seeing a lot of price action happening. This is a bullish structure, having a low, a pullback with a higher low. We are seeing this is a bit of a bull flag. But when I look at bull flags, when I look at bull flags, I want to make sure, or a bull pennant, I want to make sure that the pennant or flag portion doesn't get wider than the flag is tall. For instance, if this, comes out and consolidates, like this, I wouldn't quite consider that a bull pennant anymore. It's just be like an ascending or descending or symmetrical triangle. But we are seeing a bit of a bull pennant here. If this were to break out from this bull pennant, we can kind of drag this up. And this would be a pretty large move. And this is perfectly, look at this target perfectly in line with where that top is. It's amazing how these charts work together, and the technical analysis and the psychology of the bulls and the bears are all sort of line up with not only the Fibonacci's and the targets from patterns, but also volume profiles, all these things that work in harmony with each other. That's why I really want to encourage you to just continue your education, watching these streams, watching other streams, going to I think it's Bulkowski's trading patterns. Come to the pattern site. This is a great free tool for you. You can come here and you can go to chart patterns, candlesticks, psychology. There's a lot of free tools that you can utilize out here. This is all this is based on stocks and assets, and but all this stuff has been basically this. Chart psychology and technical analysis has been something that's been developing for over 100 years. So you can utilize this. And then when you want to know more and go deeper, coming over to BitLab Academy and jumping in with our community, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the basic stuff is going to be free. And there's going to be free lessons in every course that we have. You're going to be able to learn. And when you want to go deeper, you can, choose to go deeper and upgrade that membership. But there's a lot of free tools out there. So Gala is looking for a bullish setup. If we do break below this sort of trend line that we have right here, then I am looking for a lower target, probably down here in the 3.6 cents range. This also looks like it would be around the golden pocket area. Yeah, this is, look at that. Perfect sort of zone. But this would also mean if we do that, I just said do. If we do that, we would come down and be potentially maybe forming a new low. So all eyes on that. This is bullishly setting up though, like many of these charts. So let's look at Harmony 1. Harmony 1. Is it just Harmony? That's 1. There we go. So a lot of similar structures we're seeing across the market. So of course this option T came down. We broke this trend line, flipped this to support, and as we've broken up to the upside, this is the interesting chart because this is almost it's almost a cup and handle. But again, this is very ugly because this is kind of sideways consolidation. We can kind of, I guess, come like this, a cup handle. Now what we can do, option T from the neckline down to the bottom of the head. And we do this. You see how methodically we're going through. We're setting up our trend line first. Then we can see what pattern target we have. Now we can see, we can zoom out here. Let's go to auto. We have our VPVR on. We can see our volume nodes. We're coming right in this volume node right here. We have a bit of a gap above us. This target out of the cup and handle is essentially what the previous all-time high was, not all-time high, what the previous high was in this range. Now, is the 4-hour chart? Is a 4-hour chart my favorite for checking levels accurately? I like the 3-day chart is my favorite for looking at macro. I mean, I look at the weekly, of course, regularly, but I look at the 3-day. I really like the 3-day because it gives really good signals on momentum, kind of leads the weekly a little bit. Then I like to go stair step it down 3-day, daily. I like to check the 8-hour. 4-hour is good for basically seeing where we're at within the day and what's happening, where the momentum is going to be, the momentum direction for that day, and then breaking it down to the hourly and then the 24-minute for smaller sort of time frames to give you clearer signals as to where to pull triggers. But we're seeing here, so we have our descending trend line. We broke through, we had support. We formed this cup and handle pattern. We measured from this zone, right, the neckline to the bottom of this cup. We see volume increasing into this pattern, showing really proof of this pattern's likelihood of breakout. We are getting a bit of a rejection here, so I want to pay attention to this. I would want to pay attention to this. And again, this goes like all the other altcoins we were talking about. We can sort of map out option F, our golden pocket zone below that, which is also would be a lower low from this. So I'd like this to hold the 382, which is 1.9 cents. And if we're able to bounce anywhere above this and break through this, then I'd be looking at targets. Basically this zone right here, which is 2.5 cents up to, and then the next target would be this zone right here, 2.7, 2.8 cents, which we're just using general price levels for that. And now we can see which one of those price levels lines up with our grander Fibonacci. Actually, we're not going to do it from there. We'll do it from this high because this is where we're getting that resistance trend line from. So now you see we're kind of just below the golden pocket. So even when we break out of this, I would expect, unless we have just rocket ship news, a pause right here at the 2.3, 2.4 cent level. And then if we're able to take this, then we can stair step our way up to the 2.5 up to 2.7, and then ultimately up to 3 cents, which, is essentially, I don't know why that shift button doesn't work anymore for the measurement tool. It's a 40% move up from here if we're able to go to where this target lands. So, man, we talked about a lot today. I want to shout out to Mr. Bill Noble. My apologies for any of the issues or troubles that you're having. If it was on my end, my apologies. We'll talk. We'll get on We'll get on chat after the stream this afternoon, figure out what that was. But if you haven't, make sure you go and follow Mr. Bill Noble. He is got great info and intel on what's going on in the markets. You can follow him here at crypto_noble, which is NOBLE. And we'll have him on again for sure. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding that bell. Ding that bell. I said, ding that bell. I need more cowbell. Okay. I need more cowbell. So ding that bell, join our community. We've got a wonderful thing going on here. I really appreciate you all. Again, if this is your first time, my name's Kelly Kellam. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. Follow me on my socials at Kelly Kellam, Kelly Kellam. I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll see you. Oh, you know what? Have a wonderful weekend too. Have a wonderful weekend. And with that, adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here again. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming, for being here again and again. Hit that like button, sucker.